What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more X-Men. This time with the first of a new 4-issue miniseries called X-Men Heir of Apocalypse. And if you remember in the X-Men issue 35, the end of Krakoa issue, Apocalypse had ended it pretty upset that his ways were not accepted back on Earth, and he went back to Araco. But he decided that he was going to choose an heir to complete his work on Earth. And if you missed that X-Men issue 35, then I place a card for you at the top of the screen. And I put a link at the end of the video. But if you guys are ready for some more X-Men, and you want to find out who's next in line for the Apocalypse throne, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So this issue kicks off in Egypt, and as a bunch of tourists congregate around this massive monument, it begins to activate, sending all the bystanders into a panic. This is Apocalypse, and he's restarting the structure that he'd built centuries ago to test Earth's greatest warriors. He's going to use this structure to test for his new heir. And then we pick up with Richter and Mirage later on as they run through this structure trying to avoid its traps. And initially, Mirage wonders if this is Araco that Apocalypse has teleported them to. But part of Richter's power is to connect with the Earth, and since he can feel its soil beneath them, he knows that they're on Earth. But he winds up stepping on a trap that opens a door beneath them, sending them falling down into quicksand. But Richter is able to use his powers and form rock out of the sand that brings them right up out of this sand pit. And Richter acknowledges that this is his destiny, to take over for Apocalypse. He really wants it. But as they continue on, we then pick up with Gorgon and Penance as they make their way through this test. And where Penance recalls Gorgon being a bit cowardly before, Gorgon reveals that when he died and went through the waiting room, he came back changed. And then we see that Mr. Sinister is also one of the contestants, as he walks through solo using this genetic weapon for his defense. And then we get Cable and Armageddon Girl, as Cable calls himself saving her from a killer mummy, but she refuses his help. She's connected to every living being, she tells him, and she is the only one suitable to hold Earth. She also really wants this opportunity. Then we pick up with Exodus, who's also solo like Sinister was. And as he walks through this structure, he's the most unbothered and uninterested one of them all. And then we pick up with the X-Men team of X-23 Wolverine, Forge, Cypher, and Emma Frost as they walk through a maze. And Laura Kinney believes that it's something in the stone that's blocking her senses, so she can't smell who else is in there with them. And she tries to convince Emma Frost to drop her diamond form to see if she can sense anyone. But Forge triggers a trap that fires an arrow that Emma's diamond form just saved her ass from. So there's no way in hell she's dropping her only form of protection in this murder maze. In fact, now she grows suspicious of Wolverine's motives. As we then see a brief flashback from Wolverine when Apocalypse had approached her, Sync, and Magic about the opportunity to take his place. But where Magic and Sync turned him down, Laura was very intrigued by the offer. But as they're walking through, Cypher sets off another trap, and as Laura saves him, she wonders why he even bothered to be here, since he's so passive. And to be honest, he doesn't even really know himself. But then we go back in time to Araco before these trials had began, and pick up with Archangel and Sunfire, as Archangel originally thinks that Sunfire has summoned him all the way here. But he's pissed when he realizes that it was Apocalypse that summoned him. But Apocalypse then offers to push his two horsemen even farther than he ever previously has, because he believes that one of them could become his successor. But Archangel wants nothing to do with becoming Apocalypse, nor does he have any desire to allow anybody else to take his place. And as he takes off, we get the feeling that Archangel is probably going to be a huge problem here. And what's funny to me, and I don't really have anything else to base this on, it's just my own personal opinion, but as bad as Archangel doesn't want it, and as much as he's gone through over the years from Apocalypse, I can almost see Marvel making him the heir just because it would be such a misdirect. But as we then pick back up inside of the Egyptian structure, all of the groups converge on one another. And this is their first chance to really see who they're up against. And they all kind of explain why they're here. And of course, when Exodus lays eyes on Sinister, he wants to wipe him out. But Forge reminds them both that Apocalypse promised no death duels. But honestly, I don't really think that this is going to go well for Sinister anyway. If you guys remember back to the end of the Krakoan era in X-Men 35, Destiny had mentioned something about things ending badly for Sinister. So I kind of feel like he'll get his just dues by the end of this series, but I could be wrong. But then a projection of Apocalypse appears, and he explains the goal of this test. That for millennia, he sought the promise of them fighting for more than just their right to exist amongst their lessers, and that one of them will become his heir, to lead the mutants of Earth to prosperity. That person will follow in his footsteps and ensure that the mutants are ready to meet the coming challenges in the days ahead. And the obstacles that they faced in getting to this point were just the beginning, and it's only going to get tougher the deeper they go. But as he's addressing them, the temple begins to rumble as a large blast is fired right through the wall, and they realize that the blast came from a nearby city just across the river. And whoever it is that's trying to crash their party has just put a lot of innocent people in danger. And as they try to figure out how they're going to get across to help save these people, Cable notices Sinister trying to creep away. But Sinister is more concerned about winning this game than becoming a hero. Y'all know that's just not really his jam. But he raises a good point, because this could be a part of Apocalypse's game, they think. Because he would never care who he crushes to achieve his goal. So Exodus decides that they will all go together and save these people, and they will all move as one to preserve the sanctity of this contest. So he pulls them all in together, including Sinister, and then carries everyone away to go and be heroes. Meanwhile, the Apocalypse projection comes back and says that this was unexpected, but this visitor will be a fitting test for his heir. As we then see Genocide, the son of Apocalypse, and he comes in pissed. Because Apocalypse made him what he is, he says, and he's the rightful heir to the Apocalypse throne, and that, my friends, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think of this one? Although this technically doesn't have the From the Ashes label on it, this is kind of really the first From the Ashes X-Men that we get a chance to see. So what do you guys think about the direction so far? And who do you think that it'll end up being that takes over for Apocalypse? Do you guys think that it'll be somebody obvious? Or will they surprise us with the final pick? I want to hear all you guys' best theories on who you think will take over and who you want to take over. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and pick you up some merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And there'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our weekly interactive live streams with yours truly. Well, we could talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icon's merchandise from the Comics Icon store. And now we've got new tiers to the memberships as well, starting at just 99 cents. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of these, then you can still be a tremendous help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time.